Hi, and welcome to the very first edition of our weekly roundup of the most important news affecting UK security. This week we'll take a look at the latest weapon rolled out to protect the UK against hostile cyber attack, a new £20 million schools initiative to help fill the cyber skills gap, what's being blamed for a big rise in retail crime, plus the sharp increase in banned drivers taking to our roads that presents a danger to us all, and new claims of dangers of homegrown terrorism from extremist preachers linking up with ISIS fighters returning from Syria, even when they're behind bars. The National Cybersecurity Centre, NCSC in London, was opened by the Queen. An adjunct of GCHQ, the NCSC is designed to strengthen resilience to cyber attacks and act as a national operational nerve centre. Director Kieran Martin has announced that they are actively working to reduce harm caused by cyber attacks against the UK and said they will use the government as a guinea pig for all the measures they want to see done by industry at national scale. This is part of a 5-year-long investment costing £1.9 billion, which was announced by the government in November 2016. The Chancellor will also announce the creation of an Industry 100 scheme, granting 100 NCSC secondments for private sector staff. Mr Martin said, "We want to make the UK the hardest target," and stated the UK faced 60 serious cyber attacks each month, and there were 188 attacks classed as Category 2 and 3 during the last 3 months. In our London studio is our very own national security consultant, Jeff Little. Hello, Jeff.
Hello.
Jeff, surely the UK is one of the most digitally dependent economies, with the digital sector estimated to be around 118 billion per annum. That means the country has much to lose. So is this government strategy truly a viable initiative?
Well, normally I'd be very cautious about government IT initiatives because they don't have a good record, frankly. But in this case, we do have a world-class background to fall back on. And if you think back to the Second World War, Bletchley Park, breaking the Enigma codes, etc., the UK is highly experienced, has excellent links and excellent technologies working in the cyber area. So at this stage, yes, I think they do.
Okay, so some critics might say that this could be an example of top-down planning in danger of not being aligned to the real needs of commerce and industry. Or what's your view? What do you think the government is making the right associations and partnerships?
We can see some examples of excellent cooperation with industry. For example, in the developments of the standards concerning cybersecurity, PAS 555 and the ISO 27001 series are a good example, where many British high-tech companies, insurers and others were involved in the development of those two standards.
Thanks, Jeff. So finally, what else do you think could be done to shore up the UK's cyber security defences?
I think more needs to be done on the education side of life, and I constantly stress to companies the importance of teaching every single person who comes into contact with a computer in their daily work the importance of identifying, knowing how to react to an attack, and generally being aware of the threat and the risks, because most attacks are caused by somebody making a mistake.
Thanks, Jeff. That takes us nicely on to a further development in cyber education. It was announced that thousands of teenagers will be given lessons in cybersecurity in the hope that they will further boost the UK's defences against hackers. The Cyber Schools programme will train 5,700 teenagers over the next 5 years to develop some of the key skills which they would need to work in a cybersecurity environment. The cyber curriculum will be drawn up to mix classroom and online teaching with real-world challenges. And the Department of Culture, Media and Sport is providing £20 million for extracurricular lessons. Meanwhile, back in industry, Microsoft will begin grading its commercial customers' Office 365 security settings from tomorrow to fortify its software and services that are frequent targets for hackers. One insurance company, Hartford Financial Services Group, plans to take the security score into account when setting cyber insurance rates for its customers. Crime figures on the high street in the UK are on the rise. Convenience stores' losses from shoplifting tripled last year to hit a record high, according to industry reports. The Association of Convenience Stores reported a total loss of 131 million based on estimates from over 7,000 shops in England, Scotland and Wales. The ACS admitted that it's possible that some companies have previously underestimated theft levels. Yet even so, such businesses have seen their theft levels grow at an alarming rate, while shoplifting is now at its highest level on record, with a 5% rise last year to 349,296 reported incidents. Amazingly, official figures do not reflect the value of goods stolen. With no financial data available, such crime appears to be ranked as a low priority. In fact, 71% of retailers surveyed by the ACS said they were dissatisfied with the response from the police. ACS Chief Executive James Lohman claims the government needs to do more to support local businesses. In his opinion, police forces are now deprioritising shop theft in favour of other challenges, whilst he maintains that shop theft is for the most part either part of organised crime or due to alcohol and drug addiction. And that's why it's really important that police do more to intervene. Now, a sharp increase in crime has come to light regarding the number of people in Britain caught driving whilst already banned. The figure has increased by 7.5%. Some 14,500 people were caught driving without a licence last year, according to the DVLA. 109,660 motorists were banned from driving, with the youngest being 12 and the oldest 94. One example included a motorist who was caught driving while banned 4 times in 12 months. The same person was also convicted for failing to stop and driving without insurance at least 3 times. Disqualified drivers present a double hazard because any insurance which they have is rendered invalid. They pose a real risk to all other users of the road, including commercial and private. Finally, Britain's homegrown terrorism was back in the news with a new report by Pool Ray, the terrorism and insurance company, that describes Chowdhury and his band Al-Mujahirun network as key actors threatening Britain's security. Despite the fact that Anjem Chowdhury was jailed last year, his terrorism network still represents a threat to the UK. According to reports in The Times, the newspapers revealed that one of Chowdhury's acolytes has taken over his mantle to champion the ISIS cause, amid fears that followers will return to Britain from the battlefields of Syria to plot attacks. The report warns about Chowdhury's influence and comes after 5 of his supporters were jailed for a total of more than 23 years on Friday for praising ISIS in Luton. The report states the UK has seen a rise in the capabilities of Al-Mujahirun, and it states 23% of Islamicist terrorists convicted in the UK have a direct and provable link to ALM, and the organisation has recently encouraged British nationals to travel to Syria. ALM offers an enduring appeal to young Muslims in the UK, and further arrests should be expected by MI5 and the police as they continue to disrupt extremist influences. The Pool Ray assessment, published last week, is significant because it was compiled by a team headed by Brigadier Ed Butler, a former head of the SAS. That's all for this week, and if you have a story or question for our experts, contact us on the number below and make sure you're subscribed, and you'll be kept up to date with the most important security news, videos and podcasts. And together online, we'll help make the world a safer place. Bye for now.